was laughing when I mother. I'd say at least 12 times. Where did you hit her at on her body? Around the head area.
The eerie and cryptic-speaking teenager you just heard talking is a 15-year-old who has just done the unthinkable. Raised in a home of peace and love, what could have prompted him to do what he did? This is the story of a young boy with motives and desires so deep and bizarre, you will surely cringe when you watch this. The year is 2012, and the fire services have just been called to a home in Hendersonville, Tennessee. After putting out the flames, the emergency service officials are shocked to make a horrifying discovery beneath the carnage. A woman has just lost her life, but not by the fire. She was long gone before the fire even started. Following the discovery of the body of Melanie, the police were called to the site of the crime. While Davis' older brother waits outside with the cops, the younger teenager is nowhere to be found. Eventually, he is found walking 5 miles from home as he plans to make his way out of town. This is obviously suspicious, and so he is arrested and brought in for questioning. After reading him his rights and asking him if he wants to waive his rights, he agrees to this and the interview gets underway.
Want to go ahead and talk to us about what happened tonight? Yes, sure. Okay. If you do, just Zach, what I want to do is make sure you understand that this is a waiver, right? Saying you're waiving your rights. What I'd like to do is make sure you can read and write. If you would, read that last paragraph out loud. I've read this statement of my rights and understand what my rights.
The detective tells him that he's been brought in for questioning after what happened at his home. He also starts out with some preliminary questions by asking about his late father.
I understand that your father had passed away.
Yes, sir.
How did he pass away?
He died from Parents' disease.
It turns out that David lost his dad at 9 years of age. When the detective asks how much his father's demise impacted him, he responds by saying that he wasn't impacted by it.
Rough on you, wasn't it?
No, sir.
Didn't bother you?
No, sir.
This is not particularly true, as Davis became more quiet, although he was always the quieter one. His refusal to admit the impact of his father's loss comes as a shock, as it's unclear if he's trying to put up a strong front or if he's an emotionless lost soul. It turns out that the police have already done some background checks on Davis and his family. The police ask about his therapy sessions, and he affirms that he was subjected to therapy for a while.
Have you ever had to see a doctor for anything as far as having problems with thinking about things or anything? I saw a therapist shortly after.
Eventually, his mother, for some unknown reason, had to suspend the sessions. It is possible that this break-in treatment may have triggered some of his mental issues, as it's obvious that Davis deals with trauma and underlying mental health challenges. Soon, the police ask him what happened at home, and Davis shockingly tells the cops that he took his mother's life using a sledgehammer.
Something went on at your house today, and I just kind of like you to kind of tell us what happened. I killed my mom in her sleep with a sledgehammer.
This is usually not what to expect from a criminal, but Davis seems to have more going on with him than what anyone will expect from many suspects. When he is asked why he did it, he says he doesn't feel up to speaking about it.
Is there a reason why you did that? Yes, sir. Well, can you tell me why? No, sir. You can't tell me why? No, sir. Is it a reason you don't know why you did it, or you just don't want to tell? I didn't know why I did it. Just didn't want to tell. Okay.
However, there seems to have been a reason for the fatal assault on his mother. Investigations reveal that the family appears to have a cordial relationship. Melanie will usually send loving text messages to Davis, referring to him with endearing names. A day before she met her tragic end, she had texted him to get ready for a movie outing after his elder brother Josh returned from his medical appointment. From all indications, Melanie only wanted to spend some time with her family and didn't expect to be spending her final hours that day. The police later bring in Josh for questioning. They start out by asking about Davis and the relationship they share. Josh says that his younger brother has always been quiet and that they share a pretty normal relationship.
Do you guys don't have a good relationship?
Well, no, we do. It's just like I don't know, like he just kind of, stays to himself. He's kind of a quiet person, I guess.
However, text messages reveal that the brothers had a habit of frequently texting each other, using emojis or hearts. Something else about Josh's disposition is a bit concerning. For someone who had just lost his mother in such a horrific manner, he appears quite calm. It's not clear if he is too shocked to react or if he's just dealing with his trauma in a unique way. The cops soon turn to ask him what happened on the day the crime was committed. He tells them that on that day, they had all gone out to see a movie and then returned later that night. Soon he went to bed. Later on, he wakes up and hears the ringing sound of the fire alarm.
Then I woke up around, I'm not sure what time it is, the thing was going off. And, at first I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a sound in my room. Then I figured it was a fire alarm.
As he rushes out of his room, he goes to Davis' room to look for him and possibly get him to safety. However, his room is empty.
I was running around and I was looking for my brother upstairs in his room. He wasn't in there and I saw the fire was started in there.
He then rushes to his mother's room amidst the fire, which is starting to raise the building. He finds the door locked and has to forcefully kick open the door. Upon entering the room, he finds the disturbing image of his mother on her bed.
So I ran downstairs to get my mom, and the door was locked. So I had to kick the door in to get in there, and then I saw her on the bed.
The cops turn to Davis to ask for his account so as to corroborate the accounts of the two brothers. Davis tells a similar story, but says he went to his room at about 9 p.m., where he began to plan to carry out his evil act.
When you get home and your mom goes to bed at 9, where are you and what are you doing in the house? Are you in the house?
I was already planning everything.
You were in your bedroom or in the room where the fire was started?
The room where the fire was started.
What do you call that room?
What do you call it? Game room.
Game room? So you're in the game room planning everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how long does it take you to plan that?
Only a few minutes, but I waited for several hours to make sure everybody in the house was asleep.
At 11 p.m., he goes around the rooms to ensure that his mother and brother are fast asleep before grabbing the sledgehammer he used.
How did you make sure they were asleep?
I just waited and then checked on them.
Just checked on them, opened the door, looked at them?
Yes, sir. I killed her at around 11 p.m., I think. And I think she went to sleep at around 9 o'clock. Okay.
After getting into her room, he hits her multiple times with the hammer until she is no more.
How many times did you hit her with the sledgehammer? I don't know. I mean, any estimation? I'd say at least 12 times. Where did you hit her at on her body? Around the head area. Okay, was she sleeping at the time, or? Yes, sir. Okay, did she wake up and say anything to you? No, sir.
He then leaves the room and locks it so that no one will be able to bring in any form of help to the fatally injured woman. He proceeds to burn down the house by attempting to empty the gasoline in the mowing machine into the rooms and lighting it up. However, when it fails, he seeks out another option and quickly sets the house on fire. The police ask both sons a bizarre question. They want to know if he touched his mother afterward. This is because there is forensic evidence available to the police that suggests that something more happened to Melanie either before or after her life was taken. The two boys deny touching their mother.
Did you touch her anywhere else?
No, sir.
When you went in the bedroom, at any time did you touch your mom? when you went in that room?
No, I don't think so.
Afterward, they ask about the note he had written after the incident. It is 2.5 pages, detailing some of his plans and probably what to do after carrying out the crime.
He mentioned a note that has been found. When did you have a chance to write that?
While I was waiting and after I did it.
So
You did the whole note, there's like 2.5 pages, you did it all tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
After committing the crime, some of the neighbors said they saw him run up for 5 miles as he tried to escape. He also throws his phone away into a ditch as he believes that the police will be able to track him with it.
You had your phone with you for a while, did you call anybody on your phone?
No, sir.
Okay, what'd you do with your phone?
I didn't do anything with it. I didn't even realize it was in the pocket until I left Louise.
So where's it at now?
I threw it in the ditch.
Why'd you throw it away?
I assumed that I could be tracked through it.
Okay.
When he is asked how long he had this sadistic plan to eliminate his mother, he says he thought of it months ago. The policeman asks if his mother was a bad woman who mistreated him. For the first time since the interview began, Davis doesn't come up with a straightforward response. He tells the detective that his mother was neither bad nor good.
So, with this, thinking about this, was your mom just bad to you, or
No, sir.
a pretty good mom? Was she a pretty good mom, or?
She wasn't very good mom. She wasn't very good. I don't know.
In confirmation of his desire to end his mother's life for a while now, Davis has been studying records of people who take lives. After a long time of studying, he writes a note on his phone, attempting to explain why many such people are caught within a year of their crimes. From his analysis, they rely on too many noisy firearms or seek refuge in already congested areas, thus increasing the chances of the capture. More questions follow about how his day went on the day of the crime, and it's revealed that he had read a book by Stephen King titled Misery. In the book, the character uses a chainsaw to carry out acts of taking lives. However, in the movie adaptation, she uses a sledgehammer.
in the book, in the Misery book, one of the characters uses a sledgehammer. Am I correct in that?
Yes, sir.
The policeman asks if his desire was influenced by what he had just read in the book that morning, and he denies it.
Are you sure you didn't get any of your thought process from that book?
Yes, sir.
It's unclear if this is true or if he simply wants to appear as a cold-blooded young man, requiring no inspiration to carry out his evil acts. The detective asks if he always uses the tone of voice he is using, which, by the way, is monotonous and robotic, and he answers that he does.
You always talk like you're talking to us now?
Yes, sir.
So if I talk to someone that knows you or a teacher, they're going to say, this is your demeanor. This is how you talk.
Most likely.
So you're always monotone and robotic when you talk.
Yes, sir.
This is also confirmed by Josh, who says he had always spoken in a low and quiet tone.
Has he always been talking that monotone voice?
Like quiet.
He's kind of quiet, and his voice don't go up or down. It's just like a flat monotone voice. Is that the way you normally talk, all the way?
Still trying to establish a motive for his crime, the detective presses him to tell why he did what he did to his mother, and he says he would rather not. It appears that he does have a reason, but just doesn't feel up to saying anything about it. When he is asked if he would act differently should the hands of the clock move backward, he is unremorseful and says that he will also take Josh's life if given a chance.
You can rewind the clock and go back. What would you do?
I might kill Josh with a sledgehammer too.
It also turns out that Davis had been studying lots of cases involving violent losses of lives. He had bookmarked websites with the same subject matter and even had apps that were about people involved in cases of taking lives. The officer tries in one last attempt to establish a motive for this horrendous act, and Davis gives a shocking revelation. He tells them that his brother assaulted him in an inappropriate manner years ago when they moved into the town.
What did he do to you? How long ago was that cut? How long you been in Tennessee?
Since 2008 or 2007. I don't really remember the exact day.
He tells his mother about this, and she does nothing about it.
Did you tell your mom about it?
Yes, sir.
What'd she do?
She didn't believe me.
However, this purported act of assault was never proven, and it may have been a figment of his imagination. Melanie's refusal to act may have triggered his disdain for her, and so he began to plan how to eliminate her together with his brother. At the end of the interview, he is taken in for psychological evaluations and is diagnosed with schizophrenia. He also gives a different account to one of the doctors evaluating him. He tells him that he heard his father speaking to him and asking him to take his mother's life. In an interview on a TV show, he admits to taking her life because she wasn't taking care of his family.
What way did she fail you?
She wasn't able to take care of me and my brother.
Again, at his trial, he shocks everyone present by saying he didn't take Melanie's life. He turns around to blame Josh and tells the court that he simply took the fall for the crime. His attorney attempts to dismiss this case, stating that Davis was not in a proper frame of mind. However, his request is denied, as the judge believes that Davis might be playing the manipulator's card. In the end, he is found guilty of his crime against Melanie, his attempt to also end Josh's life, as well as arson. He is sentenced to 71 years in prison with a possibility of parole after 51 years. As he spends his useful years behind bars, the answer to the question of whether he had the desire to become a serial murderer may never be known. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see more stories on true crime, then be sure to subscribe to our channel. This way, you'll be notified every single time we upload new videos. Thanks for watching.